isolation is necessary sometimes in order for us to get to the next phase of the next chapter in our life. And I honestly feel like God took this time to sit me down. All right, you guys, on today's video, we are going to be talking about isolation and why it's sometimes necessary in order for God to change us or to reveal to us what it is that He's trying to do in our lives. Since I've been living here in Georgia, I have been working multiple jobs, 2 and 3 jobs at a time, just to be able to be close financially to the lifestyle that I had before. So when I got this new position, it kind of was an adjustment for me because even though it was more than I've made since I've been living here, it still was not what I'm used to. And it's a salary position, so I wasn't able to work any overtime. So for whatever reason, I would come home each day and I would just be like, I feel like I should be working on something, or I wanted to go and do Uber Eats, or I wanted to go and do something. And I would come home and I just wouldn't feel like it. The only thing that I would want to do is to get on my couch and just relax and let go of the day. And I spoke with one of my coworkers about it, and he simply told me, he said, maybe God is giving you this time to just be still and to sit and see and let Him reveal to you what your next step is and what your next chapter is. Because I had started on an ebook, but I didn't finish it. I started on creating my budget planner, but I didn't finish it. Like, nothing that I was doing or working on could I push past this point, and I just could not realize what it was. And what I realized is that He was isolating me from a lot of what I've been doing or what I thought that was necessary. He also had to remove me from some of the people that I had been around. And it's been family, distant close friends, new acquaintances, former coworkers that I met. And as I sit back and I look back at the people that I'm no longer as close with, and I do an evaluation of certain things about them, I realize that it was necessary for me to let those people go. Sometimes and I'll speak on this in terms of family, sometimes it's hard to let people go, or it's hard to actually deal with people. But what I started realizing it was harder for me to make that relationship work than to just let that person go, because I was being hurt the more that I was trying to hold on to them. The more that I was trying to keep this relationship afloat, the more that I was allowing them to hurt me. So I had to walk away from that situation. Is it difficult? Yes, it is. But I know, and I'm satisfied and I'm pleased with what I've put into the relationship on my behalf. So I don't have any regrets about it or no qualms about it on my behalf. I do pray about that relationship, and I pray that God turns that situation around. But if He turns it around, hopefully I won't have to be hurt in the process. I now have my barriers and my limitations with that person. So I'm okay with moving forward whenever that relationship comes back around. But also, some people, like they say, some people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And by me going to different jobs and different places, I do meet people. And a lot of times, some of them, sometimes I become kind of close with the people that I start working with, but that doesn't mean that they are always going to end up being friends to me. I tell people that just because you're an associate and we're getting to know each other, it may possibly turn into a friendship, but it doesn't have to always turn into a friendship, because sometimes we have to sit back and realize who those people are as well, and what it is that they offer or what they're capable of offering. And I'm not talking about anything tangible, anything financial, anything. It's just what do they offer to your life? What benefit are they for your life? Or what benefit am I to them? Or what can I do for them? And because I'm one of those people, Believe real strongly in, if I don't care for you, I'd rather remove you, because if I can't help you, I would never be the person to hurt you. So, and I know a lot of times other people don't think that way, but that's honestly the way that I am. If for whatever reason that there's something about you that I don't care for anymore, or I feel like I can't be the best friend to you, or do things in your life to advance you or to help you in some kind of way, even if it's just being an ear, because you probably what's coming out your mouth I might not even want to hear. So if I can't even be that, I'd rather just separate myself from you, because I never want to do anything that would cause harm to you, or I don't want any of that negative energy coming back on me. So I'm real big about separating myself from people. It's nothing personal. You may have thought that we could have been the best of friends, but if we sit down and be honest about it, it's just not in the best interest for either one of us to be friends. And that's okay. That is okay. It's okay to let situations and friendships or relationships that you may have with people, it's okay to let them go. Because if it no longer serves you or serves them, move away from it. Because a lot of times we're so, like myself, I'm more selfless and I'm always giving, giving, giving. But when I'm giving so much and I'm not receiving it in return, it's difficult for me. And I do things that I do for people, I do it out of the kindness of my heart. And I do it because I feel like it's going to be happy and pleasing to them. But what are others doing that are happy, that makes me happy? What are these people contributing to my life? So sometimes it's okay to just walk away. I'm changing my work environment, because the previous work job that I was at, yes, it kind of was fun, but I saw myself potentially going into situations that God had already removed me from. So it was best for me to leave that environment, because as long as I was in that situation, it was going to be hard for me to get out of. And it's something that I read upon earlier, and he had to isolate me in that situation because I was headed back towards self destruction. And a lot of times, even though I'm strong and I'm growing within him, I'm still easily influenced when it comes to distractions and temptations. So he had to remove me from those situations in order for me to cling closer to him and to continue to improve my relationship with him. So isolation sometimes is necessary, even though it can seem like it may be lonely, but it freed up that time for me to be able to just focus on him. I didn't have to make excuses, because what I was trying to figure out was, okay, I work pretty much from between 8 and 4 or whatever. I make it home after hours, so about 5. And then from about 5, try to stay up until about 9 or 10. But where in there do I fit in my time with him? Where in there do I fit in a workout? Where in there do I pick up an additional job? Like, how much time? I was trying to do too much. And in that moment, he just wanted me to focus on him. So I started incorporating an hour time block with God in the evenings when I get home from work. And that allowed me my time to listen to my worship music, read in my word, have my prayer time with him, and actually study the word. And I can honestly say, by me being obedient and just making that time for him, in those areas when I feel like I would have needed extra money or things would have been coming up short, I haven't missed out or lacked in no way. All of my bills have been paid. I've been able to help my family in certain areas. I gave my nephews and everybody an amazing Christmas. I was able to go home. I think from October until December, I was in Mississippi probably every 2 weeks. I was able to pay for all of that, and that's without me having to have a second job or without me having to work overtime. He made a way. So all of those fears that I was worried about, as my coworker stated, God put me in a position to just be quiet for a moment and just be still. So therefore, He had to isolate me. And sometimes we need to stop looking at isolation as something against us, because there are so many people that are so used to always having people around them, that you don't even know how to be by yourself. You don't even know who you are. You don't know um what you enjoy, what makes you happy, not what makes others happy, and those things that you do to please others, but what actually makes you happy. What are your triggers? What makes you upset? What makes you angry? You don't even know that, because you never sit down and take the time to just be by yourself and be alone. So sometimes, a lot of us look at isolation as a lonely time, but isolation is necessary sometimes in order for us to get to the next phase of the next chapter in our life. And I honestly feel like God took this time to sit me down and give me space to be able to strengthen my relationship with Him, and to mentally and physically and emotionally prepare me for the next phase and the next chapter in my life. Because now that I've been quiet and He's been able to talk to me and I'm able to hear His voice, now I know which direction that I should be headed in. Now everything is clear to me, because He is not a God of confusion. He is not a God of confusion. And I can go directly to that in the Word. I had it. I think I had that scripture pulled up. And let me read that off to you. God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33. And I'm a strong believer of that, because a lot of times when we're going through things, we always want to run to everybody else, and we want to go talk to this person about it and talk to that person about it. Sit down and talk to God. Sit down and talk to God. Because I personally know that if it's certain situations that I'm in, if I go and tell it to my aunt or my mom or something, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you should do it." They're gonna pump me up, and it may be pumping me up in the wrong direction. Or if I want to go and talk to a friend about certain things that's going on in life, now I've already had my train of thought about it. Now I have their opinion, and now I have this opinion, and now I'm in a place of confusion. Remove yourself from all of that and sit down and talk to God. Sit down and get clear on hearing His voice, and He will be able to answer that, because He is not a God of confusion. So anytime when you feel like you are just in a state of confusion and you don't know which way to go or which way to turn, or what is He trying to tell you, or which way He's trying to direct you, get still, get in your word, pray, fast, and let Him reveal Himself to you. Isolation is sometimes necessary in order to prepare us for the next phase of the next chapter of our life. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just really wanted to talk about isolation. I think in my next video, I kind of want to get into, it was something that I want to talk about. My bad. Anyway, I'll get into that. If you made it to this point in my video, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, go ahead and check those out. I did a series on preparing for 2024. I would love for you to check out that playlist. Like this video so others will be able to see this video and it'll come up on their timeline. Also, if you know somebody that needs to hear this information, please share a link to this video with them. And since you're here, why not subscribe? I would love to have you as a part of my community here on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments or concerns from me, you can drop them down in the comments or send me a message on Instagram, and we can continue the conversation. So thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Be blessed.